Gentlemen, I know we don't like to talk about these things, but we kind of have to today because about halfway through this video, you might realize I could be talking about you. Howdy, my friend. My name is Rick Higgins, if we haven't met yet, and this is Mastering the Second Half. And today we're talking about single, separated, and divorced men. Now, here's the thing. I know we don't like to talk about it much, but guys who fall into that category, well, they got kind of a higher incidence of, well, mental and emotional issues. And I'm going to give you an example, a very sad example, actually. Men in that group were actually 3.5 times more likely to commit suicide than their counterparts, unmarried women, even married men. It's not a good thing generally, and things like depression are also very much in line with those kind of numbers. Single and divorced and even separated men, they got a certain issue, and the fun thing is, it's kind of our parents' fault. Now here's the thing, the whole bottom line, what they kind of figured out caused a lot of issues for single and divorced men is basically loneliness. But here's the thing, men, as you are probably aware, we don't admit loneliness. We also don't admit vulnerability, shame, and all that other good soft stuff that we cannot possibly be guilty of. But men do get lonely. Now COVID hadn't helped us at all. Now men are what's called it's a hard word to say. Optimistic socialism is what we practice. Basically what it means is we are social in the context of other things. Playing sports, watching sports, going to a bar, going to a party, going to something. That's where we tend to socialize. We don't socialize just for the act of, well, socializing. Because here's the thing, how many of you men would actually pick up a phone, call a buddy, and go, hey man, I'm kind of lonely, just want to hang out and talk tonight? It's not going to happen. It's not in our DNA, or I should say, it wasn't put in there. It's not what we were taught. Now here's the interesting part of the studies that I was reading. The men who were responding to this, who were professing to be lonely, who were having issues, they were generally progressive, meaning they were the types who are really into social justice and women's rights and gender equality and all of that good stuff. They were generally pretty much awoke when it came to others. They weren't so awoke when it came to themselves. Because you see, for a lot of us, those of us who were born in the 50s and the 60s, we were taught that men are supposed to be stoic. Men are supposed to be self everything. We're supposed to be able to take care of ourselves. We're not supposed to have feelings. We're not supposed to have emotions, and we're certainly not ever supposed to have needs. Okay, so what can we men do? Well, the first thing is acknowledge it. Acknowledge the fact that we need to be social. We need to have friendships. We need to talk, even if we don't talk the same way as other people talk. We got to acknowledge the fact that we need it. We also have to accept the fact that we are social animals. We are human, that this is normal for us. It's not an unrealistic need, an unnecessary need, something that it goes above and beyond what others have. This is what humans do. And we have to accept the fact that, we're human too. And lastly, we need to act with courage. Now, this may not be you, but maybe your buddy is. Somebody's got to start the conversation. Someone's got to pick up the phone and go, dude, I just need to talk to somebody. I'm going stir crazy. I'm just feeling lonely. Someone's got the courage to actually say that. And, maybe it's you, maybe it's a friend, maybe your friend needs you to do that. But acknowledge, accept, and act are the big three things that we can do to help ourselves and others, well, kind of get through this and learn to be more social in a regular social setting. Now, I know not everybody who was born in the 50s and 60s and before and after are like this, but for a lot of us, this is what we were taught, or if we weren't taught it, this is what the expectations were from society. It was just kind of what we knew, that men pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps. Men never asked for help or seemed needy. Now, what I find ironic as hell is what you're watching. I was born in 1961. I was raised in this environment. Actually, I was very explicitly raised in this environment. And what am I doing? I'm on a YouTube channel that talks about relationships and sex and emotions. I am the poster child for what I wasn't supposed to be. And I tell you, it's hard. It is really hard to do sometimes. I feel like a fake. I feel like an imposter or I'm betraying what my learnings were, because you're sitting here talking openly about emotions, and I'm telling you dudes that, hey, there's a chance that you could be lonely and a bigger chance that you could actually fix it. And is that stuff that we talk about? I mean, having the courage, and I don't even want to use that word with myself, to do this, it's damn hard. But I think we can learn. And obviously, if I can do this in front of potentially a lot of people, you can do it too. Yeah, change is hard, by the way. It's really hard, and it's a very slow process. It can be a very painful process. A lot of this stuff, for many of us, it was imprinted. It's going to be there forever. And every time you want to talk or do something or, be better, you're going to have that little battle in the back of your head. I know I do it with everything that was pretty much taught to me back in the 60s. I mean, it was a great decade, don't get me wrong, but the stuff that they stuck in your gooey little brain as a kid, it doesn't go away. It's a fight that you're always going to have, but it is a fight that's worth having. So remember, you don't deserve self-isolation and loneliness. And like I say, if I'm not talking to you, even if I'm not talking to a dude, maybe I am talking to a woman, someone who knows a dude who is single, especially in these times of COVID, but just any time in general. If you know somebody and you consider them lonely, reach out to them. They may not have the ability or the courage to reach out to you, but I can pretty much guarantee you, they kind of want to be reached out to, maybe not make it as blatant and obvious and slide in from their side door, but, reach out, keep an eye on them. And with that, everybody, including you lonely guys, be healthy, be happy, comment, you and I can talk. That's how we will have our social interaction, and we'll talk to you really soon. Here's the fun part, my friends. That was about the 12th time I recorded this. I had that camera set on ultra slow motion. So when I played back, it was, I'm going to talk about. It wasn't good. Actually, I should probably put that up on a video, but it probably would take about 47 hours.